for me. All right, ready? So how do we find the inverse of a 3 by 3 matrix? Just like a 2 by 2. Find the determinant, 1 over the determinant, and then you have to find the adjoint. The problem is the adjoint here is not as simple as the adjoint for 2 by 2. Okay? So step number 1 is that we find the inverse. Hopefully we remember that from last class. Step 1 is to find the inverse. Okay? So step 1 is to find the determinant, sorry. Right? So the step 1 is to find it. So you sending, what's that? No, we're writing it out. I can send it to you, but not the best handwriting. Right, but you're writing these out. Them slides are, watch them slides. Huh? Serious? So it's not me alone then? For real? Nah, it has some teachers have this man in naps. I watch a man handwriting. It's like he typing it out. He teach applied. Man handwriting amazing. Nap girls, I mean. And it's a male. See the man handwriting. All right. I think he teach applied, I think. I just see it from somebody knows. I look very nice. A pure maths boy. He's how we teach applied and pure. It's a male, but the man handwriting because he started to write all his notes during COVID and he gave the kids it now. Handwriting real nice. If you give me real time to write, mine won't change much. All right. So good. How do we find the inverse of a 3 by 3 matrix? Number 1, find the determinant. Number 2, find the something called the cofactor matrix. I'm going to explain that shortly. Right? I'm going to write these things over this now. I'm going to show you by an example here, right? Find the cofactor matrix, then step 3, transpose it. Right? And once you transpose it, you have what we call the adjoint. So you multiply the adjoint by 1 over the determinant and you have the inverse. How do you find the cofactor matrix now? The cofactor matrix is something that we did yesterday in a way, right? You take the sign of the appropriate value and then take its minor. Remember the minor? The minor was like something like that. So you find the minor and multiply it by its appropriate sign. When you get that matrix, then you're going to transpose it. Okay? So I'll write these steps over for you shortly, but take a look at this example here. We have to find the inverse of 5 minus 2, 3, 0, 3 minus 4, 2, 0, 6. Right? First thing first is to find the cofactor matrix. Watch it here. The cofactor matrix is the sign plus the minor. Okay? Let me just remind you how to get the minor. Cancel up here. That's your minor there. Okay? So you find the minors for all, right? And you multiply it by the sign. And what you have is a cofactor matrix. The cofactor matrix is this one in red here. After you find the cofactor matrix, the next step is to transpose the cofactor matrix to give you your adjoint. That's okay? And then you find it, well, this was an old example, so they already had the determinant. Okay? So 1 over the determinant by the cofactor matrix. Sorry, the adjoint. Okay? All those steps. So we are going to do a few now. Right, make a note of this. To find the inverse of a matrix, find the determinant, obtain the cofactor matrix, transpose the to get the adjoint, and then plug it into this formula here. And you're good to go. So let's find the inverse of something that we did yesterday, right? Okay, so am I writing? Right. Anybody can do me a little favor. Just call out one of the matrices that we did to Tuesday. Anyone that we found the determinant for. How you find it? Show it back. I'm going to do one now. To find the cofactor matrix is the sign by its minor. Sign by its minor. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody could just anyone that we have the determinant for. 2, 1, minus 3, 2, 0, 4, 1, minus 2. Should we come in? Should we? What's the command do? But it must be command people. So 2, 1, minus 3, 2, 1, 2, 0, 4, 1, minus 2, 2. All right. So that's the A. And the determinant of that matrix, that's step 1. That was what? Was the determinant? Huh? 28. All right, good. Now we go into step number 2. We're going to get a cofactor matrix. So step 1 is to find the determinant. Step 2 is to get the cofactor matrix. Right? So I'm going to set it up one time. I'm using the sign matrix to get the signs, right? Plus, the minor, minus, the minor, plus, the minor. Yeah? Any questions online there? Shavish? Shavish? Okay? I think you realize you're unmuted. Huh? Okay, no, your mic was on. I thought I wanted to say something, like Merry Christmas or something. All right. Ready? So let's get a cofactor for 2. Notice, unlike the determinant, I am not multiplying it by 2, right? Hey, thanks for returning, guys. Thanks for returning. All right. Cofactor. So I have to go over this 4 now, right? I have to go over this. All right. For those who now walking, Richie, for him, buy nothing. All right. So what's here? For those who now logging in and who now walking into the class, we're trying to find the inverse of a matrix. To find the inverse of a matrix, we find the determinant, and we find the cofactor matrix, and then transpose in it, right? To get the cofactor matrix, they're not even listening. Right, so I'm going to find the minor of 2. So I'm going to cancel off column and row it belongs to. And I'm going to get 0, 4, minus 2, 2. You are not multiplying by the value 2, only the sign. Okay? So the cofactor is the sign and the minor. That's it. Next, I'm going to find the cofactor matrix for 1. So that will be what? 2, 4, 1, 2. And I put the minus sign in front, right? What about the minus 3? Trouble, Nabil? Cofactor matrix is what? 2, 0, 1, minus 2. Next one is what? Cofactor matrix of the next positive 2 is 1, minus 3, minus 2, 2. Next one, zeros. Cancel off the row and column. That'll be 2, minus 3, 1, 2. Check it back and make sure, yeah? As I said, generally, here's where you make the mistakes in a question like this, right? Next one, cancel off the row and column the 4 belongs to, and you'll get 2, 1, 1, minus 2. Next one, It'll be 1 minus 304. Two minus 324. And last one, 2120. Okay, that is your cofactor matrix. Now we have to work it out. Right, you can work it out and see if you get the same values like me, right? The first one I got +8. Next one is 4 minus 4, that's 0. Next is -4. Right, to watch, yeah? To watch my values, work them out, right? Right, next one is what? 2 plus 6, that's 8, so that's -8. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Sorry. For which one? -8. Yeah. Let's check it back and see. 2 plus 6. Oh wait, no. 2 minus plus 6. Yes. Yes. So that's -4. +4. Thanks. +4. Next one is 4 plus 3 is 7. Next one is -4 minus 2 -6. So that's +6. Which one is that? -4, where I get 2 from? -4 minus 1, -5. +5. How come this one is -4? A minus sign on the outside. Yeah. Yeah, they include the minus sign on the outside. Check the next tree before I do it. Check the next tree before I do it. Dollars to find the input something on the calculator. No, I can do everything. I'll Google it back and see if I remember. Right, next one is what? Next one is +4. Next is what? 8 8 plus 6 minus 14. Nice. And last one is what? 0 minus 2. Okay? Right. That is a cofactor matrix. Now you want to get the adjoint. The adjoint is where you transpose. Remember the transpose? So the rows become columns and columns become rows. So instead of 844 being the first column, 844 becomes the first row. Then you have 0, 7 minus 14. Then you have minus 4, 5 minus 2. Okay? That's your joint. And your last step is A inverse is 1 over the determinant by the adjoint. Right? I'll put it on the next slide. So that's the way you find the inverse. All that just to find the inverse, yeah. Like 1 or 2. Nah, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's up to you. It have other methods, but like Kramer's rule and thing, but somebody said again not to use that. But I'll still show you it. I'll still show you the other rules. But yes, you need to know this because a question will not just ask you to find the inverse. They will say, find cofactor matrix, find determinant, and then hence find the inverse. Anybody remember this from Form 5? A by A inverse is equal to what? A, very good. A by A inverse. Yeah, well, not 1, but I. I. A by A inverse is the identity matrix. All right, when I turn the page, I will add it on for you, right? I can change. All right, then. I just want to change to the next slide. And did multiplication last day, right? That's the last thing I did. I didn't give you one to try. Okay. Plenty now. Plenty. Multiplication. Okay. All right. And last part is to find A inverse. So that's 1 over 28 by 1 over 28 by 8, 4, 4, 0, 7 minus 14 minus 4, 5 minus 2. You can leave it like that, or in some instances, you'll have to multiply it out. 8 on 28, 4 on 28, 4 on 28, 0. 7 on 28, 14 on minus 14 on 28. Okay? Sometimes they leave it like the one underneath, right? Most cases, the one on top. All right? So that is the way you find the inverse using this method, which is what we will stick to for a while. Some other methods, but I'll show you some other things first. All right. One rule I want you to remember that I was trying to show you a little while ago. There's a rule that we need to remember from Form 5. And the rule is A by A inverse is equal to A inverse by A, which will give you the identity matrix, right? Let's try one, right? In fuller. Yeah, do the whole thing. Any questions online? Andy? You doing anything, Andy? Francis, you're there today, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm glad. Nice, Francis. Andy, say you understand. All right. Andy, you said my pick of this one, right? I'm trying to finish work it out. On WhatsApp. Okay, so I wanted to try one here that is from 2009. Find the inverse of A. 1, 1, 1 minus 1 minus 2 3 1 4 9. That's a 9, yeah? Find the inverse of A, please.
Yep. Might decide not to decide.
Yeah, it's plus 5, it's 5. It's still not.
Probably. Yeah, tell me now.
Last column, that is 1 minus 1.
The last column. Sure.
Yeah.
Take it back.
Maybe. I think you should take a look.
Which one? Which one is that?
Last column. Last one.
Last column, the one in the middle.
1 minus 1.
Or the last column, the one in the middle. Okay.
Last column.
I don't know. That's it. 1 minus 1, 1, 3. Oh, by the way, if you want to call out a position, you just call out, like for example, you just call out the row first and then column. Okay. Right. This one here will be A13. This one here will be A21. Okay. Right. So the cofactor matrix, how much you all got here? Minus 30. What's the next one? Next one is what? Minus 5 or positive 5. All right. What's the next one? Next one is what? Next one is? Next one? Minus 4 plus 2 minus 2. Yeah. Next one is how much? Minus 3. Yeah. And last one is what? And the last one is what? Minus 2 plus 1. Minus 1. Nice. While I'm here, go and find the determinant one time. The determinant is 1 by minus 30 because I already have the cofactors already. Plus minus 1 by minus 5 plus 1 by 5, right? And I got 5 and 5 is 10 minus 20. Right? And I could go ahead here now and find the adjoint. The adjoint will be minus 30, 12 minus 2, minus 5, 8 minus 3. And now we have 5 minus 4 minus 1. Okay? That's the adjoint. And then all you have to do now is just say A inverse is 1 over D by the adjoint. I can't fit it in there, but you can handle the last part. 1 over, right? 1 over the minus 20 by the adjoint down there. Okay? So that's the way you find the inverse. That's method 1. I'm going to show you our next method just now. Here. Any questions online with any particular values or anything? No? Rana, you good? Nice. Harris, you okay? Karina? Wait, who's Sean Budram? Budram? Sean? Sean? What school are you going? Press? All right. Well done. Right. So this is one way to do it. A next way to do it is by a multiplication method using the rule I gave you, A by A versus I. All right. I want to show you something here. This one you have to be able to multiply, okay, right? And you have to be given B as well. Anybody writing? Switching, right? Suppose I gave you something like this. Oh, I've gone board now. I forget that way. I can go on the board. Are you okay with this? Yeah? All right. Let's say A is equal to 1 minus 1, 1, 1 minus 2. That's the same matrix I gave you, right? 1, 4, 9. But now I'm giving you B. B is equal to 30 minus 12, 2, 5 minus 8, 3 minus 5, 4, 1. Right? And here's a question. Find AB and then find AB, then determine A inverse. So find AB and then determine A inverse. All right, so find AB and then determine A inverse. So I want to show you what will happen, right? Actually, as practice multipliers come away again. No, I didn't do it. The question do that. No, he asked if I switch the values and B on purpose. But the question gave it in that form. In the question, they didn't know what you will know what the inverse is until you multiply it up. Right? And I will show you how you will figure out the inverse. Sean again, sure? Sean. right? So I want you to multiply it out to tell me what you get. Okay? Then I'll show you how to use it to find the inverse.
Yeah. Nice.
Right? You're done? I think I got -1 for the first one.
-1.
Sorry, not -1. I meant minus what's the determinant again for the last one? 20 -20. 20. Golden y'all got that? That's not shit, I didn't get that. Very good. Huh? No, just multiplying it out. I am each way reduction out there. It does multiplying like normal. Anybody else got that? I have it, none, Kyle. All right. Oh, wait, now, Kyle, sorry. Kyle, you ready now? Gabriel, you ready? You ready? Yeah. All right. So watch this here. Here's how we end up with Rajiv. When you multiply A by B, you might recognize that you're getting 20I. That's okay? So if I were to move the 20 across, I'll get A by 1 on 20B is equal to I. Correct? So what does that mean? Remember, A by A inverse is equal to I, right? So it means that A inverse is equal to 1 on B. Are you okay with that? So some questions, they give it to you like that. Any questions online? It's a little bit of rule because I gave remember when you solve it simultaneously. Right, let's do that a little bit. Simple is simple. Go panic, it's easy. So why only 1 on 20B? Because remember, A by this 1 on 20B is what giving you I, right? So based on the rule A by A inverse I is equal to I, it means that if we compare two of them, then A inverse has to be equal to this part of it here, which is 1 on 20B. So this is your B, and 1 on 20 is the determinant. That make any sense? When you move 20 from 20I here, shouldn't it be 20? Right, remember, when it'll be this, right? Which is the same as A by B on 20. Those two mean the same thing, right? Right? Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the next one that will lead us into being able to solve simultaneously. You gotta remember how to solve simultaneously using matrix method. Multiply A by X, carry across the inverse, and multiply by B. No? All right, too bad. Right? So we will have to learn that now. Right? So I'll kind of go into one. Let's take a look at I think Napoleon I'll be doing some multiplication and all right, let's take a look at this question here from 2018. Right? We are going to do this together, and that will lead us into being able to solve system equations, right? All right, so take a look at this here. This is 2018 or something I said, right? 2018. Right? For those who forgot, in order for us to find x, y, z, all we have to do is to multiply the inverse by 7, 11 minus 6. And technically, you would have solved. Remember that? Anyway, even if you didn't remember, right? Work out this amount. Go ahead, have fun. And I'll go on the board and show you something called row reduction. Go ahead, real easy. Yeah, 9 coming in here, right? So work out this amount and then multiply. Part 1 multiply e by b and reduce a and b.
Are you last school or I was last school. I didn't see it. I don't know. Just do the flow. Johnny, last time Johnny was school or something after years. It was like what? Yeah, yeah. It was like,
To multiply a by b and it's supposed to get what? 88, 0, 0, 88, 0, 0, 0.
Hold on.
I do that.
What's that? 5 marks, yes. Have to show, I know why test it should be easy. Actually, yes, but you don't really have to show it like it's like, right? So just write a by b. Write a by b equal to should have 1 or 2. Right out.
I already got Sharon, right? Of course, right? Of course.
Should have 1 or 2. Like an idiot.
Of course.
You don't have to work out though. I did today. I know it's sorry.
I just look at the first one, and just like zero. The first one was like in next.
Yeah, Innocent teacher or something, right?
That makes sense.
All right, so multiply A by B. And then I want to show you calls. I want to show you how to solve simultaneously matrix method. Right, so as William was trying to escape from some of the work, right? When you multiply A by B, you know what the answer is. So all you have to do is show them like two rows. Show them like two values. And then fill out the rest. Right? So you will get a mark for that. Then the next mark is for writing the law. And your next two marks is for comparing them. A by A and versus I. I can't sting you back in your head, right? But you know what? Come to the last part. You did the last part? Just them out here. Ah. Something nice. Hey, Maggie. Hey, Maggie. That's what you'll get us now. All right. And what flight?
Oh yeah, our box is on.
Right. So let's see what you came up with now. No. Right. So when you multiply A by B, you should have 88, 0, 0, 0, 88, 0, 0, 0, 88. Right? And what that shows is that really shows 88I. So by using the rule, we know that A by A inverse is equal to I, right? So in this case, we have A by B is equal to 88I. Yeah, you have to write all of this. So that's A by 1 on 88B is equal to I. By comparing, you'll recognize that A inverse is equal to 1 on 88 by B. Okay, that's the 5 marks part. As I said, if you don't want to do all, it's okay if you do like the first row and then you can write the answers to the rest. All right, the next thing I want you to do I'm sweating, so.
Yeah, so
Why you on the AC?
I about finished. I was doing the last one, but
Right. Everybody okay with that? Right. So the next, if you all remember in Form 5, how to solve equations simultaneously. One of the methods was to find a by x and make it equal to b. So write the equation in a matrix form and then take x and multiply it by a inverse b. Right? So what you have to do here is to take x, y, z. All right? Take x, y, z and multiply it by the inverse of this, which we know already, right? The inverse is 1 on 88 by b, and then multiply it by 711 minus 16. Okay? That's the technique that I would have used on Form 5. Okay? So I wanted to try part 2 for me. Multiply b by 711 minus 6 and then multiply by 1 on 88. Let's see what you get by x, y, and z. And then I want to show you something new called row reduction of echelon form. Right? Multiply b by 711 minus 6. Tell me what you get, please. Online, you all could message what you get by x, y, and z, please. Right? This one here, you have to work out, William. This one you have to work out. And you are shortcut. All right, done? So what I got to know, just pass it first. Who? Term?
yeah.
What's the last thing I want to do? For value? And you divide by 88? Oh. How much you get now? Anybody get extras yet? So that's up. How much you get? Anybody online get value for X? Oh, wait, Karina done me? Good job, Karina. Karina got 3-1 minus 2. No, lie. Hello. Wait, I wonder if Karina used a calculator. Karina used a calculator. Should be whole numbers, Arana. Anybody got 3, 1 minus 2?
I get that.
All right. Anybody else got that? Karina? Let me see who I could depend on. Karina will answer for sure. Hey, Kilon here too, man.
Oh, good.
Kilon working it out. And Shavish. Saskia Nash. Why you fall asleep? Multiply, let me see where you got. Saskia, you waking there? All right. What you all follow what to do? Because I really want you to focus on the one I'm going to now. Right, Kilon get 3, 1 minus 2. So we got to go. Then we can work out nothing. Right, so next heading, system of equations. And before I go to the whiteboard, copy this down, please. Copy down that. That's the first technique. To solve a system of equations, we can use technique number 1. Right, we could use technique number 1. Jose, that's it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll checking up. Where say your message in a minute. Past 6. Normal time. Quarter 5. All right, so sorry they're online. So today we're going to take a look at how to solve a system of equations, right? And the first technique that we're going to use is the finding the inverse, right? That's the one that we would have done a little while ago. The one I'm going to focus on today is row reduction to echelon form. So I want to show you how to do row reduction. All right. Before I go into row reduction, remember we said that, right? Let's say we have something like this, right? Right. You all remember this? Suppose I wanted to eliminate X. What would I do? And I could multiply this by 2, and I could multiply this by 5, and then subtract them. Right. Row reduction is the same thing. right? You're trying to get zeros in a row. And you're trying to get those zeros by doing something like this, multiplying a row by a value, next row by a value, adding them, or subtracting them. Okay? That's, sorry? What's that? When you say fraction? No, not partial fractions.
Yeah.
Multiply to get a new. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So row reduction. So how are we going to use row reduction now to solve this equation? Real simple. In order for you to solve this, right? If you had a 0 here and a 0 here, and you could solve for x. If you, yeah. Huh? And they probably slip away. So watch this here. Right? So suppose you had all these values, right? And you had a 0 here and a 0 here. And you had 5x equal to something. And you could solve for x. Yeah? So we know x, right? So if you know x now, and you get 0 here, can you solve for y? Because you know x, you have a 0 here and you can solve for y. Right? And if you know x and y and you can solve for z, you follow what I say? Yeah? All right. So here's what I'm saying, right? If I have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, right? Huh? Right? Let's say I give you something like this. And I want you to solve this equation, right? Remember, this would come from this, right? And I want you to solve it. One of the things that we could do to solve it is to try to get a 0 here, and a 0 here, and a 0 here. Why? Because if we have x is equal to something, means that we can solve for x. Correct? If we figure out x, and we want to find for y, and we have z as 0, we can solve for y. William? And if we have x and y, we can solve for z. Right? So what we are going to try to do is do row reduction and to get zeros looking something like that. To be exact, I am going to get zeros looking like this. Right? I am going to try to get a 0 here, and then a 0 here, then a 0 here. And it don't really matter what you have here. I am going to try to create a matrix using row reduction like that. Some textbooks have echelon form looking like this. Right? So some of them have it looking something like this, right? Oh, sorry, one's down the diagonal and anything else there. Some of them have it looking like that. But I am just going to focus on getting it in a form like this. Because once I have this, I can solve anything. All right? So what I'm going to try to do is to use the row reduction method, multiply a row by a value, and subtract to get zeros here. Once I have these zeros, I can easily solve this. Okay? So I want to show you the steps now. Step number 1 is to take this matrix and write it as an augmented matrix. Augmented matrix, real simple. As opposed to writing A, X, and B, I just writing these two together. Right? Look closely. A is what? 5 minus 2, 3. 0, 3 minus 4. 2, 0, 6. Augmented with 7, 11 minus 6. See enough? Okay. All right. So I take all the coefficient values and I augment it with the answer. Are you okay with that? Online? Are you okay? Right. So this kind of make it nice for us already. Why? We're trying to get a 0 here, here, and here. We already have a 0 here. Right? So we're good to go. We already have a 0 here. So I'm going to try and get a 0 here, then here. So how do I get a 0 here? Well, for me to get a 0 here, I'll probably have to use these two equations, right? So I'm trying to get a 0 in row 1. How do I get a 0 in row 1? Well, I am going to multiply the old row 1 by 2. And I'm going to multiply the old row 3 by 5. And then subtract them. That's okay? I am only changing row 1. When you all get good at it, you can do all one time. You can do all 3 and make changes here one time. But I am only changing row 1, right? So it means that row 2 will stay like this. And row 3 will stay like this. Right? The reason I like to write this back first is so I don't change these rows. I only change in row 1. Yeah? If it gets 0 here, that could work too. Huh? I just want to teach you a pattern for now because all wouldn't be like this, but that could work. If it gets 0 here, you got 2. That's why I don't use the echelon form from textbooks, because of that same reason. You already have 2 zeros here. You could just find it here and solve it. The purpose of echelon form is to solve for x, y, and z. Okay? But that was perfect. You could just get a 0 here and you got 2. Right? So I'm just showing you the pattern you would take. The pattern you would normally take, get 0 here, then get 0 underneath, then get 0 here. Okay? And that simplify it out. So 2 by 5 is 10, minus 5 by 2, that's 10. So that'll give you 0. Right? 2 by minus 2 is minus 4, minus 0 is minus 4. 2 by 3 is 6, 6 minus 30 is minus 24. Right? Then 2 by 7 is 14, 14 plus 30 is 34. That's okay? Everybody okay with that? So I multiplied this by 2, that's 14, minus 5 by minus 6 is 30. 30 plus 14 is 34. Okay? Normally, you want to get a 0 here, so you would use these 2 rows, but you already have this 0 here. So we're done with that. Okay? Now, we have 2 zeros here. I want to get this 0. So the normal order is this. A 0 here, a 0 here, then a 0 there. That's the order, right? 1, 2, 3. So I want to get a 0 here now. How do I get a 0 here? Do I use this equation and this, or these two? Right, because if I use this and this, this number will mess up the 0 here. Okay? So I'm going to get a 0 here now. So I want to get a 0 here. So that's row 1 again. I am going to multiply this row by 3. And I'm going to add it to this row by 4. I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm not touching row 2. I'm not touching row 3. I'm just changing row 1. This tells me I'm only changing row 1. All right? So I'm going to multiply again. 3 by 0. I'm watching this matrix. Not here. I'm watching here now. 0 by 0, that will give me 0. 3 by minus 4 is minus 12, plus that is 0. Oh gosh, help me out here. 3 by minus 24, that's minus 72. Minus 72, minus 16 is minus 88. Yeah? Next one is what? Do you next up from now? 3 by 34 plus 44. How much? 1, 4, 6. What was Z again? What was Z when you work out Z? The last question. So I'm wrong here.
So
Yeah.
that 34 is supposed to be a 44 because 30 plus 14.
Just 34 supposed to be
44.
44. Okay, thanks. Fix it now, please. Two by 14. Oh, yeah. Right. How much is this now? 176. All right, thanks. Right, so you just have to be careful when you're multiplying, right? Now you're good to go, right? As I said, some books, what they would do now is they would divide this whole equation by 3, this whole equation by 6. So you have ones here, but I don't like that, right? You could just come right here and say, so minus 88 what? Would this be x, y, or z? Minus 88z, x, y, z, right? Minus 88z is 176. Z is 176 divided by minus 88, which is minus 2. Now that we know z, we can find for y. Correct? So 3y minus 4z is 11. So y is equal to 11 plus 4z all over 3. 11 minus 8 is 3. 3 and 3 is 1. And now we can find x. 2x plus 6z is minus 6. X is equal to minus 6 by z. That's minus 2 all over 2. So that's minus 8, 1, again 1. Oh, sorry. 3. And now we have worried because that was the answer, right? Right, so the answer is 3, y was 1, z is minus 2. Are you okay with that? That's a row reduction. So you're going to might as well say? All right. Okay, so this is your final answer. X, Y, Z. Okay? That's the X, Y, Z. Are you okay with that? Row reduction looking easy. Right, so again, let's just run it over again for those who fall asleep. Right? Killing. Take this, put it in the augmented form. You understand the augmented form? Then to solve it, you want to get 0 here, here, and here. Okay? And to get that, you take row 1 and you multiply this by 2, this by 5, and minus them. That'll give you the 0 on top. To get the 0 here, you work with these two equations, right? Multiply this by 3, this by 4, and subtract them and add them, right? And you will get 0, 0, 0. And you're good to go. Minus 88z is equal to this. 3y minus 4z is this. So we can solve for y, and then you solve for x. Okay? So that's the order all the time. Any questions online? Just one of this and be done. I'll give me one more and be done. Right, just one more, and then I'll give you the rules next day and finish up matrices and squeeze in some probability. In fact, no, I wouldn't do probability. I would just do terms and terms. Which hard? Terms and terms hard. I'll probably do Form 5 probability. I can't do probability without terms and terms. All right, online. So copy that down and let's try one. And that's it, right? Any questions online? Right, just take your time. Like how I made a mistake with the 44. I'll just give you an example of the mistakes that you can make. Right?
Yeah.
So you need to be careful when you're multiplying and subtracting and thing, right? I have to give you an example. If I do it, it'll look too easy. Right? I have some rules to give you, right? Remind me, I have some rules to give you. Right, Andy, you getting through there, Andy? Send any message in the group there. Copy down, and I want to do one with you, right? Wait, Ruel didn't come? He could be online, dumb. I just Antonio came? No. Adam, the next Adam here. The next Adam not here. Paris here. Karina, Celine. Chelsea here. No Chelsea. Grant in this class, boy. Jada, Keelan. Hamilton not here. Mark not here. Chen here. Chen here, man. Boy. Rana, Rika. Shavish here today? Yeah. Shavani. Rajiv in the back. Who's Justin? Justin Khan. No, Justin Khan. Gianna. Ready for your last one? All right, next one. Right, x minus y plus z is 1, x minus 2y so z, x plus 3y plus 9z is 25. Hurry up, last one. Take the last one right there. Last one, message a value for x, y, and z. No calculator, Karina. No calculator. Work it out. Well, now reach here. All right, so let's see what you get. As I said, it's normally whole numbers, right? So row 1, real easy. We could just take row 1 and minus row 2. You all recognize that for row 2, we could just take row 2 minus row 3 one time. We could do both of them one time, right? Row 3 not changing, right? Row 3 not going unchanged, right? So I'm doing row 1 one time. 1 minus 1 is 0. Minus 1 minus 2 is 1. 1 minus 4 is minus 3. 1 minus 5 is minus 4. Now, row 2 minus row 3. 1 minus 1 is 0. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. 4 minus 5, 4 minus 9 is minus 5. 5 minus 25 is minus 20. Okay? So I have 2 zeros here. I just want 1 more 0 here. And I'm good to go. So row 1, I'm going to multiply row 1 by 5, and I'm going to add it to row 2. So I'm done there. I'm going to put my 0 minus 5 minus 5 minus 20, 1, 3, 9, 25. Okay? So I'm going to multiply this by 5, bam, bam, I'm going to get 0, bam, bam, I'll get 0 there. 5 by minus 3, that's minus 15. Minus 15 minus 5 is minus 20. Here, minus 4 by, that is minus 20. Minus 20 is minus 40. That's okay? So you're good to go. Minus 20, z is minus 40. So z is 2. Anybody get that? No? Push-ups. Push-ups. Oh, so if you do row 1, you'll get this. You got that? Right. You get this row, right? And you'll get the first row on this and this. Correct? Right. Then to get the next one, you want to get 0 here, right? So I'm using these 2 here. 1 minus 1 is 0. This is minus 5, minus 5, minus 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So right, so same thing. Right? And then here now I want to get 0. Yeah? Salma. Anybody got z to be 0 or went too fast? Anybody got z to be 2, I mean? Trouble?
I think 1 and 3 row 1 minus. I guess he has like 6
So you all by 1? Okay. So wait, what you all use when you reach here? What you use? To get 0 here. To get 0 here, but you'll get 1 by 0. So this becomes 1 now. Right? That's why you don't use this row. You use this row and this row, this row and this row, and then this row and this row. Okay? So z is 2. So minus 5y minus 5z is minus 20. So y is minus 20 plus 5 by z all over minus 5. That's our minus 10. So I got 2 again. Anybody got that? Yeah? No? And then x is x plus 3y plus 9z is 25. So x is equal to 25 minus 3 by 2 minus 9 by 2. So that's 25 minus 6 minus 18. Right? So that's 1. Yeah? I'll look at that. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Andy? All right, so that's the way you solve. We'll do some more of these and then we have some rules we have some rules to learn, right? We have some rules to learn about what happens if you see a row with 4 zeros or 3 zeros and things. Okay, homework, try this, please. Why do that? Huh? People can see online. All right, online. So that's it for today. Physics people, take out 20 minutes. 15, we will start back at 5:15. Those who have physics, take a little break. We start back at 5:15, right? Pure maths, we finish, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, shucks, I stopped recording a little while now. What is happening there, right? Who's the host? What happened there? Oh, no, recording still.